What does this mean? I'm knackered.
Drunk.
I probably
Tired.
I like the drunk one though. Keep that in. Welcome to another episode of Jets Class. We are so pumped to have you guys aboard. We have a ton to get to today. Specifically, why the Jets can't keep force-feeding the ball to Hall if Braylon Allen is the hotter hand. Malachi Corley, he needs to be more involved. The Jets are traveling across the pond, so we've got some London trivia for you as well. Sam Darnold, MVP candidate for the Vikings. That was never going to happen here with the Jets. But before we get to any of that, it's time for the takeoff and why I am sick and tired of the excuse making from this team. I can't hear it anymore. Seriously, I can't. If I do, there might literally be steam coming from my ears as I scream atop my lungs. Yes, the San Francisco 49ers have a top-tier defense. So do the Tennessee Titans, and the Denver Broncos might be the best of the bunch. But that cannot be used as an excuse anymore to justify futility on the offensive side of the ball for New York. And continuing to do that, it is just developing and hammering on the loser culture that has drowned this team the last 13 years. This is not the Jets team that had Zach Wilson under center. It is not the Jets team that had Sam Darnold under center or any of the past teams that were just garbage. This is a team that has legitimate Super Bowl aspirations, not playoffs. They believe they are built to compete against everybody and go win another Lombardi trophy. Who do the Jets expect to see on a potential Lombardi trophy pursuit? Are they going to play scrubs and terrible defenses? No, they're going to play the best of the best. And if they score no touchdowns or only 10 points or something like that in one of those games, are they going to stand atop a podium and be like, oh, look who we faced? No, that's not good enough anymore. This Jets offense has one of the better lines in the league. They run 3 deep at receiver, 2 deep at running back, have Tyler Conklin and a 4-time MVP at quarterback. Enough is enough. They should be putting up points and dominating all of their competition, no matter what the defense looks like. Stop using the opposition as an excuse. Go win football games and show you're as good as you claim you are. It is Jets Class, it is the British beat, and for some London trivia, I brought on the one Jets beat writer who I think is probably the most cultured of us all. I know you've certainly changed my life over the years by broadening my horizons to different kinds of food, different kind of cultures, all that stuff. So Andy, are you ready for some London trivia?
Yeah, thanks, I think. That was very nice.
I think it was probably the nicest thing I've ever said to you. No, not at all. All right, here's the first one. Who co-created and starred in the original British version of The Office?
Ricky Gervais. Yeah.
I didn't think you were going to get that one. Well done. All right, one for wow, I did. I picked the right beat writer.
Oh boy, here we go.
When the Jets were in London in 2021, we were both on the beat at that time. They played the Falcons. They scored 2 touchdowns. Okay. They were both running backs. I'll give you that clue. Who were they? One of them is out of the league right now. One's had a resurgence with another team. It wasn't Bilal Powell, was it?
No, it was too late for him. Oh, I remember. Okay, I remember. It was 2021.
Yep.
Is Michael Carter?
Yep, that's one of them.
Okay, and then somebody had a big return. It was the same guy who had a big punt or kickoff or punt return at the end or beginning of this, like at the end, right before halftime, and right after halftime. And this was the guy who scored a touchdown. He's who's having the resurgence.
Yeah.
Oh man.
With another team, he actually just scored this past weekend.
I'm going to be really upset that I don't get it. Because I'm not,
you're going to know as soon as I
know my brain is not. It's not 21. Okay, so the solid Jets. I'm not going to get it.
Ty Johnson.
Oh my God.
Yep, Ty Johnson.
Of course. I was thinking about him the other day.
British slang test. What does this mean? I'm knackered.
Drunk.
Tired. I like the drunk one though. Keep that in. What does this mean? Quid.
Quid. It's some sort of currency?
Yep, money. Yeah, good job. Yeah, wow, you're really good. Which Beatles album features cover art where they're crossing the street?
Abbey Road.
Yep, there you go. Knew you were going to get that one. I'm really curious if you're going to get this one. I think your girlfriend Oli might be upset if you don't. Name all 5 members of One Direction.
No. I can't even get one.
Yeah.
No.
They are...
I'm sorry, it's not even like...
Liam Payne, Harry Styles, Zayn Malik, Lewis Tomlinson, and Niall Horan. I don't know One Direction either. I couldn't even name one of their songs. All right, this is it.
Okay.
Last one. Will this early season trip to London turn the Jets around like London may have done for the Mets?
Oh man,
this is a big one. Undefeated Vikings, Sam Darnold.
This is such a weird game because like you can see it go both ways. Like where the Jets get crushed by Sam Darnold because that's what happens. But they've already been crushed by Sam Darnold. And the craziest thing was for the Jets, after whatever that was we just saw on Sunday, to come out and beat the hottest team in the league out of nowhere. So I just have a weird feeling that's going to happen. And then they'll lose to Buffalo. Because who knows what the hell is happening around here. But it's going to be interesting. I think, yes, it could turn their season around. I think they need to have I think they need to win because they're hurting bad right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. If they don't beat the Vikings, I don't see them beating the Bills, and then this thing could take a turn for the South. But yeah, so he's Andy Vasquez. I'm Connor Hughes. This has been the British Beat.
It's time now for 4 Downs, and it is presented by Monmouth University. Explore further at monmouth.edu/amplified. You guys know how this works. It's 4 topics on the Jets, my thoughts on those topics, and it starts right now with first down. There is an immense amount of pressure on Robert Saleh right now, the Jets head coach, and some of it is justified. This team far too often looks undisciplined. This team far too often seems to play down to their competition, and there are far too many times that I can recall where they just came out flat. But I don't necessarily know if a coaching change, like so many people are calling for, would make any difference whatsoever. I mean, it's not like by the Jets letting go of Robert Saleh, bringing someone else in, suddenly their offense is just going to be jump-started, because that's truly what is really holding the Jets back at different points. They didn't lose to the Denver Broncos because of their defense. That defense played absolutely lights out, allowed just 10 points. You're talking about a quarterback in Bo Nix who threw for 60 yards and somehow won the game. That is still Robert Saleh's baby. Jeff Ulbricht's calling the plays, but it is Robert Saleh's scheme. These players do still continue to fight for him on the defensive side of the ball. When I look at what's holding the Jets back at times, it's inconsistencies on offense. It is ineptitude at times on offense. It's guys not understanding what they're being taught on offense, not defense. Firing the head coach, moving on from the head coach, that's not going to fix any of that. Unfortunately, the problem to solidify all that, he's right now the offensive coordinator of the Steelers because he didn't want to come work for the Jets. I still genuinely believe that the Jets are among the most talented teams in the entire NFL. Not just their division, not just the conference, the entire league. And I feel that way because I see a defense that is still elite and an offense that has players littered everywhere. There really isn't a weakness, and they're led by a 4-time MVP. When the Jets play teams that they are significantly more talented in, like they did in Week 2 against the Tennessee Titans, like they did against the Patriots, and like what should have happened against the Broncos, they're going to beat them because talent in the NFL does matter. There are going to be games where the Jets are so much better than their opposition that they're just going to win because of it. But there are games on their schedule, plenty of them, especially over the next couple of weeks, and there will be plenty more if they want to make an actual run in the playoffs, where the talent is even. They are as good, maybe even slightly less than their opposition, and they need to find an edge. In the NFL, that edge comes from coaching, and that is my biggest concern right now with the Jets, is I don't know if offensively they can out-scheme their competition or their opposition. And we're going to find out a lot about that in the coming weeks, because they've got the Vikings in London this week. Then they've got the Buffalo Bills. Then they've got the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin. Then they have, the easier game against the Patriots before coming right back against the Texans. I think we're going to learn about the direction this Jets team is going over the next month, few weeks of this season, because no longer can they rely just on the players they have. They need their coaches to step up as well. If the coaches do, the Jets should come out of this stretch looking pretty good. If not, maybe they're not destined for what we thought they were. Let me preface this by saying I still believe that Breece Hall is one of the best running backs in the entire NFL, and I believe at some point this season he's going to snap out of this funk, and you are going to see the player that so many believe is going to be the focal point of the offense. But right now, that's not the case. He doesn't look the same. The aggression isn't necessarily there. The burst isn't there. The elusiveness isn't there. He looks like something's just a little off, no matter what the GPS numbers are telling Robert Saleh and the coaching staff. That is why this team cannot be married and fall victim to just force-feeding Hall the ball because they know who he is and what he's done in his past. This is not like years past. This is not like when the other option other than Hall was Michael Carter or the other option was Dalvin Cook. The Jets have a stud in Braylon Allen. And I don't believe that this is an overreaction to the 10-carry, 4-yard game against the Broncos, because Hall went into that game against Denver averaging 3.7 yards a carry. Allen, he was over 5 yards and just as physical and dominant against Denver. So while Hall's figuring some things out and waiting to get going, if it's not there, don't just keep handing it to him. Go to the player that is having the success. Ride the hot hand, because that is a luxury that the Jets can afford to go forward with right now, and I think it will lead to more offensive success. It was always going to take Malachi Corley time. He was not the best and most fine-tuned route runner in college. That's a skill that you really need to develop with NFL coaching. He didn't play big-time college ball, so going to this speed, this level of competition, it was going to take a little bit of an acclimation period. With that said, it's absolutely time to start working him into the offense. Show why Aaron Rodgers loved this guy so much in the pre-draft process. Joe Douglas loved him so much in the pre-draft process, and the Jets saw him as the yak king, someone to design and figure out ways to get the ball in his hands, and he might just be Deebo Samuel 2.0. Xavier Gibson has been the player that the Jets have tried to force feed the ball a little bit in the slot, and he's made a couple of plays, but he's got 3 catches in the season's first 4 games. There really hasn't been anything that he's done that, in my opinion, Malachi Corley couldn't do just as good, if not better. Gibson's a great story. He's a good punt returner, should be a weapon on kick return as well. But right now, he's not bringing it on offense. For a Jets offense that's still looking to truly have their breakout, maybe you start investing in the players that you've invested in. Get the ball in Corley's hands. See if he can't break and do something, because it might just lead to a Jets offensive breakout. It's been a passionate show. It's been a fiery show. It's been an energetic show, a lot of venting. But I do want to slow it down a little bit here with a new segment, It's the Landing, and address a topic that I know is going to be talked about ad nauseum leading into this Jets-Vikings game. It is Sam Darnold. It's his start against the Jets. It's the fact that right now he looks like a legitimate MVP candidate, and the Jets let him walk out the door. What Sam Darnold is accomplishing with Minnesota, it is like nothing anybody saw coming, and he deserves a lot of credit. He was put into a situation where he finally has protection, he finally has playmakers, and he has an elite level offensive mind in Kevin O'Connell. That doesn't discredit anything that Darnold's doing. He's still making the throws, he's still making the plays, he still has the Vikings off to this start where they are literally thinking Super Bowl with Darnold under center, and Darnold thinking about taking home some hardware himself. But none of this was ever going to be possible with the Jets. The Jets have always loved Sam Darnold. They always believed that he could be a special player. But what exactly were they supposed to do while they got him there? Pick up his 5th-year option when he really hadn't shown anything? I think it's important to remember that Darnold, this isn't his first stop after the Jets. The Panthers gave him a shot. They gave up on him. The San Francisco 49ers brought him in as a backup. The Minnesota Vikings brought him in as a spot duty starter, bridge quarterback backup. That's what they viewed Sam Darnold as. So yeah, again, credit Sam for what he's accomplishing, but to simply be like, oh, the Jets are a quarterback factory for everyone else. Look at Geno, look at Sam. I think it's silly. I think it's lazy, because if you really analyze the situation, this was never going to happen in New York. Not for the situation Sam Darnold found him in when they drafted him. Thank you guys so much for joining this episode of Jets Class. It was an absolute blast as always. If you want to catch all previous episodes of Jets Class, you can across SNY's digital platforms. That is Facebook, that is X, that is SNY.TV, and that is YouTube. If you're going to watch us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to SNY's channel and also comment and like on our Jets Class videos, just because that helps us spread to other Jets fans. If you want more of me and the rest of the Jets Pregame Live crew, you can find us on Jets Pregame Live nice and early Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. before the Jets take on the Vikings. That is 8:30 a.m. on SNY Jets Pregame Live. We'll see you guys there.